welcome back. The outfits, the hair, the cinematography, the directing, the writing, everything A1. The music, it was so good. The jokes, heavy boots, everything was so good. I'm so happy to see them back on my TV screen. Sir really did a number on Bella to where even now Lacey does not trust her own instincts. She does not trust her eyes. She does not trust her ears, and she does not trust her own emotions. And this was a learned behavior. One, from the fact that Sir was literally stalking her and in her room and she's seeing it. And then when her mom would come in and say, oh, well, it was a nightmare. And so her mom wasn't doing it on purpose. She never saw Sir in the room. But when you're telling her this, or sweetie, it's a dream, or it's all in your mind, she's now learning that maybe I am crazy and maybe I am seeing things. And I think just the way that that all unfortunately played out built in self-doubt for her entire life. So like I said earlier, it's not that she's incapable. She is in her own way because she's just had, her life was made to think that she was hallucinating something and that she couldn't believe what was in front of her. I need the Dementors. I need whatever it was from this short film that I just watched called The Distinguished. Whatever it is, please drag my man to hell. I'm over him. And I don't understand why him as a side character is continuing to have words spoken out of his mouth. Set me free, my God, please. Because guess who is fighting for her? Sir. So he gonna get her, or y'all gonna do what you need to do to get her? And she walked off, and I said, finally, finally, finally. Y'all are too grown, and every single one of y'all are connected through kidnapping and the way that trauma continues to stay. Margaret, you just came back from a situation due to your own son's kidnapping. Why are we not rallying around the strongest person in the room? Why are y'all not seeing and recognizing that now is the time that she needs you and not the time for y'all to just break down? Fight for her and fight with her, please. I beg. So they go up to her house. Don's making sure everything is secure outside. Zeke is doing everything with his tech. Lacey's at the computer. She's like, we finna burn all this shit down. They can search your house, but they ain't gonna find no evidence. And Margaret in the basement with a fucking mallet, like she's tearing down any evidence of a prison has ever existed. And I'm like, yes, finally. And not only finally they're doing stuff to help, she's sitting and she's allowing them to help her. So she ends up walking in the basement, and you know, she's thanking Margaret and everything, but she's asked her, you know, like, I get why everybody else is helping me, but why are you helping me? And for the first time in Gabby's life, somebody who is an adult actually apologized to her. Margaret literally said, I projected everything that I was not, my insecurities, my inability to find my son, onto you, and you did not deserve it. While I don't think that what you did was right, I was literally giving you way more heat than was caused because I was depressed and I felt like a failure, and you did not deserve that. Another fool, Ethan. I just want to Thanos snap and you disappear. Don, please get the divorce. You will be okay. You will heal from this. You'll be hurt a little bit, but that's, getting a divorce from Ethan is not the hardest thing you've ever even done in your life. You've come back from kidnapping. You even come back from telling your Muslim parents that you were gay. Okay? You have been through it all. And you just got shot. Like, sir, you will be fine. Now, do I feel that Hulu kind of like punched us in the chest in the way that they came out of the gate? You could have just gave us like 2 episodes. 3 of them? Are you serious? I feel like I'm on the hunt. I feel like I got my notebook out, my pen, I got my lawyer hat on, I got my investigator hat on, like I got my just being a woman and being able to search and go through social media hat on. Like, we will find everything, like who did it. and to have like this cat and mouse version, but on like the scale that's beyond thing. It's like multiple cats, multiple mice. What do you believe? Who do you believe? Who's on your team and who's not? It's wild. One thing that I really love about the series is that everything is high stakes from beginning to end. Like, you're on edge the entire time, and the reason you feel on edge is because of the performance that Sterling K. Brown delivers as Agent Xavier Collins. When you meet Agent Xavier Collins in episode 1, off a rip, you already know, like, he is on edge and he is not completely sold. Like, he's disgruntled, he's upset, he's hurt by something. And so because the main character is kind of like working in this high anxiety and high stress situation, you as the viewer are also stressed out because you're trying to figure out, like, okay, well, everybody else around you is like having a good time, why aren't you? And so because his antennas are up, you as a viewer, your antennas are up immediately. So it feels like you are also a part of the Secret Service. You know, like, they're friends, we like them, and Pete is, I already know Pete not gonna be doing this. And she was like, well, Evie explicitly said that they want to. And so Danny's kind of thrown off too. And she was like, look, I know you want her, and I know he wants me. And he seems so innocent, and I just love corrupting the innocence. So what do you say? And he's like, oh, I do want her. Do you want him? And she's like, yes. And so then they seal their plans for their neighbors with a little hanky-panky, right? All hell broke loose. Danny is trying to get out of there, and then there's like a whole fist fight in there on the street, and Gary's telling Danny to leave, and Danny's getting away, but he don't really want to leave, and Gary is like getting jumped. So by the time Danny has made it to safety, he's calling Gary, and he's not getting a single freaking phone call. Like, what the fuck happened to Gary? In the middle of his day, Pete goes on a side quest, right? And he goes to the fertility center because something in the milk that Evie served him that morning was not clean. And he was like, I just need to know. So the doctor was like, okay, well, you came here last year and it was low. Okay. All right, you're following me? Okay. Pete, I am so sorry to tell you, but there are no viable sperm in your counts anymore. He says none. She says nada. He says zero. She says zilch. You ain't got no sperm, Craig. So who baby is it? Who baby is it? She says, what do you mean? And Pete's like, that baby, okay, is not mine, okay? Cause the kid is not my son. And she's like, what do you mean? Girl, lie better. Hello. Hello. No. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your host, Kivanchi, bringing you Hello, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your host, Kivanchi, bringing you all things update, new, exciting, and thrilling in both film and television. Today, we will be discussing Season 1 of The Newsreader, starring Anna Torv and Sam Reed. Let's get into the thrills, chills, and the deep themes and plots behind what makes The Newsreader so successful. I came because I have like a tiny non-hyper parasocial obsession with Sam Reed. My fiance already knows about this. We already had our talk, we had our conversation. I just feel like his energy and my energy would get along so well, and I think that if we ever met each other, we would literally be like really good friends. I genuinely believe that his acting, and I'm gonna get more into it at the end when I share my thoughts about the whole season, But we are watching like something happen, like when the Marlon Brandos became the Marlon Brandos, when the Meryl Streeps became the Meryl Streeps, when Viola Davis became Viola Davis. And you know, if you're somebody who really watched film and television and watching that in real time, not necessarily the number of things that you see a person star in, but watching their growth in their progress and how much they continue to expand their artistry. We are watching Sam Reid, our Australian princess, do something rather extraordinary that feels very like old Hollywood, very much like what Hollywood probably initially set out to do before it became like a popularity contest type of thing, and like the machine that it is. We're watching somebody who is a student of the industry, and it's just so beautiful to watch. So The Newsreader season 1, Sam's acting. I cannot say this man's name without blushing, and I hate it. It's like Pavlov's response. I've been trying to control it. Can't. Oh God. Oh my God. I'm probably blushing like a motherfucker. So to me, I think this is a Samism, because Dale does this in this show with 2 separate people, and Lestat does this with Louis all throughout Interview with a Vampire. And so Sam has this signature longing, angsty look, but he's able to wield it in a way that comes off as completely unaware, like in Dale. I love it. And I love it so much because Helen is such a spitfire, right? And when you look from the outside looking in, you would not put these 2 people together. But Helen brings out that confidence in Dale. So now that inner fire that he has about his job and being there one day is now showing itself physically in how he looks, how he speaks up even more, even just going back and forth with Helen in general, right? And so then seeing that confidence come through not only in the last episode but in this one so openly in the bedroom with her. He's like, I did that. Like, my pants may be too big, my shirts may be ugly, but I gets down, okay, in the DMs. And I really enjoy seeing Helen be at the receiving end of this, because it's also shaping her narrative of how she views other people who may look like Dale. You see 2 people who are literally meant for each other. Nobody out acting Sam Reid. I promise you, the things that he does in his face and his body, his vocal inflections and the peaks, the way he's able to isolate every muscle on his face to portray contrasting emotions, the way he's able to pull them all together to all be on one accord. I sent his crash out scene to my fiance, and she said he's like Jim Carrey. He's a handsome man who's unafraid to get ugly on camera, and he's willing to contort his face and his body to embody every emotional beat and every word within a scene. How cool is it that today, the finale that it dropped, is also my 100th podcast episode. Brr, 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 brr. I'm so excited. What a feat. My 50th episode was on, I think, the finale of From on MGM Plus, which is one of my favorite shows. And for Paradise to come out and be another one of my favorite shows, and the 100th episode just kind of falls on the finale here, I feel so divinely blessed. I feel very lucky. I feel so excited, especially to have 100 episodes, and I've only been doing this for 8 months. The work on top of a full-time career, on top of being a full-time grad student, doing my own editing, doing my own videography, my own skits, writing everything. I feel so happy. I feel so amazing. I don't know what I'm gonna do to celebrate, but that will be coming soon. So yeah, those are some new things happening right now. He puts a gun to her head and I'm just like, yo, let's go, okay? And she's like, listen, I am so sorry, it wasn't supposed to go this way. And he was like, at this point, I ain't got shit to lose. And then boom, bullets fly. Who did the bullet come from? Jane shot that hoe right in her chest, right below the trachea, slightly above the lungs. Okay, my girl is an assassin. And Jane tells him, listen, she was with me, she is safe, she is back at the house, go over there and get your kids. And she leans into Sinatra and she was like, don't worry, girl, you're not gonna die. You're no good to me, Dad, and also you should have gave me that weed when I asked for it. And I just love this because it's like, if we're gonna be stuck up in this bunker and I'm supposed to be out here killing for you, the least you can do is let me have my minor joys. I do believe that Jane did love Billy, but she also did what she had to do because at the end of the day, she's a killer. Just like Billy did what he had to do when he killed the people at the orders of Sinatra when they found out that there were survivors during the apocalypse. But Jane and Billy used to play Wii every night between 11 and midnight. Like, that was their thing. And so for her to do this all in honor of a video game, it's the pettiest shit ever. And instantly it really made me love Jane that much. Like, instantly I was like, okay, I love Jane. Jane, I might have to forgive you for killing my man's Billy. There's 3 people, 3 actresses in this who, when I see their face, like, I have like classical conditioning to react a certain way. Rosamund Pike, every time I see her, like, I'm scared because, girl, you've been evil in everything that I've seen, and like brilliantly evil. And so what she does for Moraine just keeps me in a chokehold because I'm like, do I trust her? I don't know. And then we have Sophie Okonedo. I love her and everything that she does. I love her voice. I love her eyes. I just love her presence on screen. And also she just gives off like chill, but she is absolutely the coolest mofo in the room. Like, her swag and her energy just puts me at peace and like makes me feel ease. So I just love like feeling her energy and feeling her presence come off the screen or like photo shoots or anything like that. I just really love her. And then we have Shohreh Aghdashloo. Listen, ma'am, you up there with Rosamund Park. Like, I mean Rosamund Park. Rosamund Pike. Like, when have you ever been good? Like, when have you never had any ulterior motives? So of course, as I'm watching the episode and I see her come in, I said, don't trust you. Don't trust you. I don't care what happens in the rest of these books. I don't trust you. And so to have a cast where it's like a mix of people who aren't like thrust in the spotlight, who haven't been thrust in the spotlight for so long, mixed in with some straight up OG legends, it's so fun to watch them all together. And I can only imagine what some of the younger cast members who are, you know, hitting their stride in their career, especially with this show and staying booked and busy with the show. I can only imagine like the insights and stuff that they're able to take back, and I hope that they're learning a lot because I would love to work with those 3 legends. When Leandrin shows up to 10, she go, girl, she done took them braids out. She said, I got my little crimps. I got my little braid out. I'm not tied to nobody no more. She comes in there with her people. Again, the Power Rangers assemble. And she busts in on a wedding. And it was the grandson of the man who raped her and got her pregnant. And as she flips the veil of the bride was also like 13. Girl, Leandrin told everybody, ain't nobody leaving this room alive. and got to work. So first order of business was justice. Like, Leandrin has multiple motivations, but the one thing that stays constant is her advocacy for rape victims and child brides because of what she went through. This girl was torturing her, and Gwen was doing whatever she could to hold out. Then she finally gave in, but my sis gave in with a plan. She looked at Renna and she told Renna, I'm gonna kill you, girl. Yes, I was able to pick up this water and to give you the water so that you can drink, and I be out here practicing. But Egwene was out there practicing for herself, because at the end of the day, she's like, you know what? I'm powerful as fuck, and I know that I can break these chains. It is what it is. I'm just biding my time. Then Renna cut off her braid. So where the two rivers and stuff come from, Egwene was a pupil of Nynaeve, and their braids tied all of them together culturally as sisters. And then Renna cut it off thinking like, oh, I'm gonna cut you off from your ties of the past. Hell no. Egwene, okay? Egwene figured it out. When they were supposed to be out there battling against Rand and Moraine and Matt and all of them, like it's coming to like the penultimate of season 2. My good sis blew that whole fucking tower down. Blew it all down. What the hell wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Okay, first off, listen, I know that this is based off a book, and I don't know how suspenseful, scary, thriller it goes in the books, but if you don't change your time slot from 9 to 10 and give us more and give us gore, I'm gonna be mad. This episode, like, it's crazy. We've been having like some jump scares and everything that's going on so far, but this episode took the supernatural, gory horror cake. Like, I don't know, by the end of this episode, I was fed. My demon heart felt so good. So what are we talking about this week? We open up this episode and Halsey, that's the name of the man who was running like the drug farm or whatever, was trying to pass it off as like the fake farm, killed everybody in it, and Leaphorn ended up finding Suzanne dang near dead, right? If not, I'm pretty sure I confirmed it in episode 2, where I was literally like, these cases are going to collide. Like, there's no way that they're not going to intercept at some point, and boom, we have tied together so many things just off of this one phone call. So he calls him and he's like, listen, I took care of everybody. I took care of everything. Everything is lit up. They can't trace nothing back to you. They can't trace nothing back to Spencer. Like, everything is gonna be good. But I looked at his phone, put it back on his ear, and was like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So, good luck, buddy. And went back to bed, and I'm just like, oh my God. Halsey? Yeah, bro, I don't think you're making it out of this episode, okay? Is my math mathing? Are my thoughts thought-worthy? So, Joe, if that's your real name, where were you the night of BJ Vines' disappearance? And he was like, at La Casa, girl. And she's like, so if I ask Emma, she's gonna say that you were at home with her. And they in this stare down, and Washington's like, okay, thank you. You are so kind. So at this point, Leaphorn, like, he just is thrown off. And he goes back home. Mind you, Emma is not even talking to him at all. But he goes back home and she's sitting there and she's like, sit. This is your time to jump ship. But if you're curious as about like what I look like when I be fanning out, then go ahead and stay, because I rarely afford myself the public opportunity of showing my obsessions, and I don't know why. I need to talk to my therapist about this, but the group chat knows. They know, they know. And the first thing I told them was, I'm getting in front of my camera and we're gonna talk about this. So let's talk about it. I'm getting my eyes adjusted, you know, answering some messages, scrolling through some things, checking some notifications. And the moment I open my Instagram app, it is Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire page with the season 3 art and a 2026 microphone graphic announcement. This video is purely based on my obsession, so nothing reasonable nor logical is going to be said today. Again, this is marketing, this is fan. Y'all already know. I already see myself as Akasha. It don't really matter. I see myself as Akasha because Aaliyah was Akasha, and the reason I can see myself as Akasha because it was a black Akasha, and I'm gonna tell you right now, she better be black. I don't care about light skin, dark skin, olive tone, pink tone, peach. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about the diaspora. I don't care about colorism. I care that this is a black woman. Mixed, I don't care. Lestat is there pouring into him. The wedding night, telling him, be all the beautiful things that you are and be them without apology. When Louis was pouting in his coffin and Lestat's like, what do you want me to do, babe? And he was like, I want you to buy me the fair play. And Lestat's like, bet, we kill all these motherfuckers and you can get whatever you want. Like, everything that I do for you. And so, and when you're so mad about season 1 and all the things and the abuse and the trauma and everything like that, obviously, again, going back to memory being a monster, that's the thing that we're going to focus on. Now, we're not going, I am on Jacob Anderson's side, I'm on Sam Reed's side when they say, if you watch this through just regular human morality and ethics and moral, like, and everything like that, then you might as well not even watch the show. It's not going to be fun. At the end of the day, they're vampires. They're murderers. They're manipulators. They hurt, they harm, they destroy, but they love. They're soft. They are insecure, they are intelligent. And so through the lens of all of these things, of course season 1 is going to highlight the trauma because Louis is still trying to be a human. Then you go into season 2, and as Daniel and Louis spend more time together alone without Armand there, and little bits and pieces of memory are coming back, and they're both starting to have these dreams, it literally seals the deal that every time Armand was there, he was infiltrating and driving the narrative the entire time. Lestat at the trial also talked about the things that he did, but because this season is going to be about the vampire Lestat, and because he's such a hyper emotional creature, I just feel like we're going to be getting all of the feels. We're going to be getting all of the feels, and I want that so much. Another thing I want. Oh, okay. Hold on. Where do I want to start? My mind is all over the place right now. Okay. This is like purely fan fiction. I want Lestat in 2025. I'm pretty sure the story is going to take place in 2025. I want Lestat in 2025 to be in therapy. And I do. I want jealous Louis. I want a Louis who's hunting and stalking Lestat's therapist and goes and kills him because he's like, how dare you not talk to me? How dare you go and try to get your life together? Chase me. Run after me. Like, I really want to see a Lestat that fights everything in him to respect Louis' boundaries of being by himself. Because at the end of the day, vampires, I feel like vampires can do casual, but I think with your companion heart, that don't work. Like, I believe in polyamory. It is what it is. I support both of them having hella people that they use for whatever pleasures it is that they desire. But I don't think that Louis could handle a Lestat that listens to him. Like, the reality of the show and the reality of their age is like amazing to me, and that's what stands out. On top of the comedy of it all. And this is my first time seeing Coleman Domingo be funny. My friend was like, "You haven't seen him in Fear the Walking Dead?" I did not watch Fear the Walking Dead. Everything that I've seen Coleman in has been very serious. And so to see him be authentically gay, I felt like every time Coleman talked, I was in his house with his real husband, and this is just him, right? And so the acting from everybody felt so authentic. And again, because they're playing the ages that they are in real life, you don't feel like you're watching a TV show. I feel like I'm just a part of their friend group and their dynamic and where they are emotionally and mentally in their lives. But Coleman Domingo's comedic timing really stunned me. 27 is a horrendous age. And I say horrendous in the space of like, it is such a cusp. You are 3 years away from going into a new decade of your life, but you're about 2 years removed from being able to look back on your 20s and your late teens and being like, I was kind of a terrible fucking person. So now like hindsight starts to kick in at the age 27, or it should. From there, you have to make a decision of like, okay, maturity is like knocking on my door. Do I hop on this train and take the next 3 years to really unpack and unlearn all the shitty ways that I was from age 26 and before? Or do I continue to do immature things? And now I end up being in this space where my opportunity to mature has passed me. And now I have to wait until I'm like 33 for that train to come back around and for me to realize it's time for me to grow. We open up season 3, Heron laying down. He's really just going through mentally like his life, and we're kind of teetering on the whole like clinging to life or letting go and crossing into the other world. And Heron says, you know what, I'm gonna die one day, but not today. And my man went straight Super Saiyan 7 on everybody. Okay, a celestial crash out. My man's got up, yanked that dagger from his chest, and came out and was like, I am so tired of y'all playing on my top. I done already told you that Zeus is my daddy, but now I'm gonna have to show you better than I could tell you. So now everybody looking like, oh, okay, like, hold on, Heron. It was just jokes. It was just jokes. Here's the review in the middle of this recap or whatever. 10 out of 10. Now, y'all. So everybody know like Aries is the god of war. But I also feel like Aries is like the root word of arrogant, because like that's exactly what we saw. So Aries is popping up, and one of his sisters like, bruh, a smart man knows when to walk away, baby. We need to get out of here. And he's all like, I've walked away from this beast once. I won't run again. Anyways, this fight lasted all of 2 punches before that tail pierced a hole in him the size of his ego. Aries, baby, what are we doing? What are we doing? So Cronus is like, listen, I'm gonna throw all y'all asses in the abyss if you don't tell me where Zeus is. And they have a plan, and everybody's aware of this plan. And Hera's like, hey, Cronus, listen, we ain't even gotta do all that. How about a good old-fashioned scrap? 2 on 2, your best versus my best. And Cronus is like, I literally can step on every one of y'all. Like, why the fuck would I do this? And Heron and Seraphim are like, are you scared, bro? Are you scared that little demigods might beat you? And Cronus is like, all right, bet. Cronus now getting his ass beat because Typhon is no mas. Okay, heads rolled. And They beat his ass, boy. They was like, listen, you thought we was gonna play fair? We're not, bro. You're fucking big. And so Cronus is like, what is this type of sorcery or whatever? And this is like, babes, you and your arrogance is the reason that you're in this position right now. Yet again, you talk too much. You think you could beat everybody else. You think size matters, and it does not. In the storytelling, it was always about like Lestat was too much, or he did this, or this thing was imposed upon me, as if he had no autonomy over himself and his own decisions. And this really stands out to me because it's like, okay, when one is made a vampire, you're basically like an amplified version of all the things that you already are. And Louis was not a good person because you weren't allowing yourself to accept and receive that love wholly. Inside, it turned into a disgusting thing. But then it was the same thing when you accepted Lestat back into your and Claudia's life. You didn't even think about Claudia at all. Whether she knew what really went on in that room or not, she still watched her fathers fight to the point where one of her dads dropped the other one from the fucking sky. Not once did you talk to her about how she felt about that. No. You stabbed Lestat in the stomach with his own broken record, fucked him while his side bitch was out on a roof, and then you just came back and was like, see, Claude, everything's fine. He's sharing with us. Everything is going to be A-okay. Yeah, she was like grown, like in her 20s at that point, but like, sir, I literally sat back and was like, if this motherfucker just ate, she wouldn't have to do none of this. You didn't have to kill people when you ate them, Louis. But the thing is, you knew that you would kill them because you don't care about humanity. You don't care about humans. You just want to be around them to absorb these things for your own personal gain. But you didn't give a shit about people when you was a human. You knew you didn't give a shit about them when you was vampires. So that's why you kept yourself from eating, because you knew you would kill them. Like, yes, I would have killed them too. And that is okay. But you didn't want to accept the ugliness of yourself. Like, at all. And so because you didn't want to accept that, Claudia has to do all the work. Like, to me, I feel like out of all the people that are just god awful, Claudia, like, didn't do nothing wrong. Should she have stayed in the child's place? Yeah. But Louis created that relationship. Louis created the way that she was able to manipulate Lestat. Her being of Lestat, her still eating humans and doing all this other stuff made her stronger. So it made her be able to do this. Because Louis, how was it that Claudia was able to plan for Antoinette to be at Mardi Gras, but you didn't sense her at all? Again, if you would have just ate, you would have known this. Claudia was not shocked at all when Antoinette showed up. She was waiting for her own sight. If on sight was a person, it's Claudia de Pointe du Lac de Leoncourt. You didn't eat. And starving yourself doesn't make the things go away, Louis. It makes it monstrous. Ravenous. You didn't do yourself any favors. You did not become a better vampire. You became more dangerous because of it, girl. And Dorothy's like, hell no, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with you. Yes, we're going to the ball. Fuck you and your son. My daughter is worthy of any and everything. Any and everything. And one of my favorite lines out of this whole thing, it was said more delicately than I'm about to paraphrase, but Dorothy was like, you've allowed the high society of New Jersey to get into your head, but bitch, I'm not from here. She's in her own world. Her and Hector are working it out. He sees with his own two eyes like that this was a good decision. It was a great decision. And Gladys is pregnant, y'all. She is pregnant and she is excited and she is happy. And George is so deep into his fucking feelings that this is something that Gladys can't even celebrate with her parents, both of them together. And I thought it was very hypocritical that he was giving the advice that he was giving to Larry and wasn't taking it himself. At the ball, we had our Brandy, Whitney Houston, Cinderella moment. It's possible. Peggy's singing the whole relationship is over, and William actually showed up to the ball. And now Elizabeth was like, oh my God, my baby. And her husband was like, pump your brakes. William goes over and he pulls Mr. Scott to the side. And Mr. Scott was like, listen, Negro, I heard what happened with my daughter, and I'm not too happy about that. You called it off. And William was like, that's not how I left the conversation. And Mr. Scott was like, well, that's how my daughter feels. So like, the fuck? What's up? And William was like, listen, what she said was a lie. But I'm not going to hold that because I love her. And this was not the ideal place to do it. But I'm not going to spend another fortnight thinking about it. Do you see all these Negroes up in this room? She's already currently dancing with a nigga that's low cut Caesar with a deep wave. I saw his haircut and I saw his mustache and I said, is this accurate? But okay, whatever. I think I've reached my N-word quota. I'm sorry, y'all. When we be going to Philly and New Jersey, it just be jumping out of me. I'm sorry. But yeah, he was like, I already seen her spinning around on the dance floor in another man's arms. Like, no, sir, please, can I marry your daughter? And so I think his name is Arthur. And he's like, oh my God, yes. But remember, young Padawan, a marriage between a man and his wife, not a man and his parents, and not a daughter and her parents. This is you and my daughter. And you need to take this seriously. And William was like, yes. And so he's walking up and everybody's doing their little walks or whatever. And what I love about this is if this show was in 2025, William would have asked her dad for her hand in marriage and then saw her dancing with another dude. And then he would have walked out the side building and been all insecure and been in his feelings. But I love that this type of like atmosphere and this was just the culture. Her dancing with a man didn't mean anything. This was just the thing that they did. And so I love that there was no jealousy and there was no second guessing behind after he made his intentions known. And the cinematography, she's spinning around and then it slows down and she sees William and she don't give a fuck about that man no more that's holding her hand. And he's like, can I have this? I've been laughing all day. I've been reading all day, regular books, fanfics. I've been watching true crime. Like I've been having a grand time and I sat down to watch this episode so that I can come and talk to y'all. And I got to the end of the episode and I genuinely was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sit down and talk about it because as you can see, whew, I want to turn this camera off so fucking bad right now. Dale has been wanting to propose to this lady for a while now. Okay, he got his grandmama's ring. But Helen is like super riled up and Dale is like, baby girl, don't go into this house. Just like give me a moment. But Helen's like, what are you talking about, bro? She barges into the house. At this point, Dale's like, all right, fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. And he proposes, y'all. She says no. The final shot of them, she's like, I love you so much, but I cannot. And he's like, it's fine, like it's fine, it's okay. And she ends up leaving and his whole face changes. And it's just him sitting on the floor, just like crumpled and defeated in all of these beautiful LED lights that he had strung up around the house. His mama done helped him put everything together. Told her, you are the only person who knows all of me. And she still said no. Helen and Dale are taking me on a roller coaster ride because they are so domestic and it's so beautiful. And yet, here we are. And it pains me so much. They'll get it together, man. I don't know, man. It's harmful. It's tragic. Somebody said today on Twitter, they asked a question, they were like, comedy, they were like, for the rest of your life, like comedy or drama, like which one are you consuming? And I said, I'm consuming drama because I can find something funny in drama, but comedies aren't always funny to me. Um, and this is one of those scenarios. Like there was some super funny shit that was happening in this episode, but also as you can see, it broke me all the way down. If there is a woman detective with a mean ass bowl cut, baby, she not playing no fucking games. She is about to solve this crime like nobody's business. She is a monk on the case, okay? Like you're not getting away with murder when you see this bowl cut Bob on a British lady detective. It just is what it is. My hot takes as far as the storylines and some of the characters go, I'ma just say it. I don't like to compare. Mm. Jasper. Jasper is like the sexiest, oldest vampire in the series. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. Like, I'm sorry to the rest of y'all. Jasper got it. Jasper got it. When he was laying on that couch, lounging around in that t-shirt, I said, okay, listen. How I get to the London house? To know me and to know things from all the other shows that I cover on the show, I do not like terrible husbands. And Major, you are skating on the line to tell her she's making trouble, then to blame her for somebody outside your son's window stalking him. Like, mm-mm. The one time was a side eye. The second time, you can go sleep with Paul. Go to his house. Says I'm such a problem. Bye. Bye, y'all. Go to your friend's house because you're not welcome here. Okay? And y'all can disagree with me. Kiwanchi, have grace. Like, no, he's just scared. He's honest with things. I don't care. Because she already told you a couple of episodes ago. Why you coming home? Why you fighting? Why you coming in? She done already made you aware of how you been talking to him. And so then you go do this. You're giving Hallery more grace and understanding. You're giving General Shaw more grace and understanding than the woman that you married, the woman who pushed out your big head ass kid. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You got one more time. One more time, and I'm lighting it up. Okay? Okay. Did he get his phone call? Did he get counsel? What is going on? And the chick was like, this ain't the South. We gave him access to public defense, this and the third. And I'm just kind of like, you know what? White people in the North love to be like, because we weren't in the Union, we're different. We're not the racist South, but you are. It simply was economically and financially like more advantageous for you to want to end slavery. You're no better. And then the people who still wanted slavery just ended up migrating to the South. Team Steelers, though, again, Chris Chalk as Halloran, I mean, what a captivating human being on camera. I need to go down everything that he's done. Like when he's on screen, I don't care about nobody else. Like, incredible. Incredible. And I really just need him to like have so many other major studio projects after this. I enjoy watching him. I can get lost in him. And from some of the things that I've seen on the internet, seems like it's a sentiment with a lot of people. He's just harrowing and he's afraid, but he's menacing and he's sinister. Like just the energies and stuff that he carries and brings to this character with like somebody who had this gift his whole life. He just has, you just feel the wisdom, feel the ancestors. You just feel all of that power moving through him while also understanding that he doesn't even understand the breadth of his power yet either. It's really nice. This is a town where kids have been going missing for decades. And it's just posters around like, oh, this kid went missing. All right, well, we ain't find him, so it is what it is. Guess he dead or he'll just show back up. Like, they don't give a fuck about the kids. Hello. It's been proven over and over and over. But a white lady, oh my God, her delicacies hang it. So Hank is like, listen, now that you know the truth, we need to figure out a way to not get that shit out in public. So find a way to get me on house arrest so that, I can live. And, this is a very precarious situation because what if this white lady turned on you? Because that's what they do. What if she say you raped her? Like, he is just, and there's just so many different layers to Hank's story. And I'm just like, oh my God. Say a little prayer for you. Because only God is going to save you now. Honestly, let's just talk about Zachary real quick as a performer. That awkwardness that he carried in this episode, that shyness, that bashfulness, but on the edge of really tapping into his own personal prowess and his sexy, it was just all in this episode, and it was just perfectly executed. It was just perfectly executed. He was embarrassed where he needed to be. He was forward where he needed to be. He was pensive where he needed to be. He was shy where he needed to be. Like, the whole thing, just watching him fumble in the most beautiful way as Oliver was just absolutely incredible character work. Get it? Understand? You deserve uncomplicated and you deserve to be happy. Whole time I'm screaming, fuck your happiness, Josh. You deserve the worst. You deserve unhappiness. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know where he's from, but I'm going to find him and I'm going to end him and I'm going to end this sham of a relationship. Oh my God. We finally get, vulnerable, open, honest, transparent, flayed open. And you tell him that you're seeing someone. And it wasn't enough that you were seeing someone, but you told him that it was uncomplicated and it was easy. Thus, him inferring and receiving it as him being difficult and being complicated. I am over it. Pissing me off. Y'all pissing me off, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. So there's that. There's that. I've been begging for this. And y'all shoved the knife in my breastbone and twisted it and then yanked it up my sternum and yoked it out of my trachea. Why? Clenching my vagina right now because it was so crazy. So of course, Chorus is coming out. He's like, damn, we supposed to be all in here having sex. We're supposed to be getting drunk. This is my night off. What could possibly be going wrong? And here all Feezy is bitch ass. She's going mad. Does yours need to be on this ground too? Because I'm pretty sure she invented what we know in today's time as the Lorraine Bobbitt. Would you like for your cojones to join when Creticus is on the ground? So she's, again, trying to explain herself, and Chorus is like, I don't give a fuck. Don't nobody kill nobody unless the dominus does it. So now you got, it's a life for a life up in here. So you need to figure out, if you would draw blood for me, you'll live. If not, I'm throwing you off this fucking cliff because I ain't got time for this. I'll deal with Asher later. So she's like, fuck it. I ain't want to come here in the first place. Fuck all y'all. She gets her swords. He gave her that shield. She said, fuck your shield. I'm not even dealing with that. I already told your ass all day that I'm not dealing with this. It's too heavy. It don't fit. It don't move with me. Fuck you. We gotta look good. We gotta look perfect. Everything is great. We just got some great news. Like, we need to be on our best behavior. Shoulders back, chin up, chest out. 3 paces back, 1 to the left. Let's do this. So the carriage comes up and Ashton is like bowing and he's like, sir, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. And he looks up and Julius says, hello. And Ashton's like, what the entire fuck? So there's that. Excuse me, sir. Sir, I'm recording. I'm recording. Thank you. It's midnight. It's midnight. Thank you so much.